My dear viewers, hello and welcome to a new episode of our program, Women's World. My name is Amal Mukhtar. I have the pleasure to be with you in this episode of Women's World, during which we bring you all what concerns the Egyptian women. A short break and I'm going to be back with you. Welcome back. While Egyptian women have excelled in several fields and jobs, we are going to know more about the working Egyptian women in the following report.
The high-level status that Egyptian women have achieved as they are half of society. They are no longer only present at the top of the targets of states' development plans, but has also become an essential partner in developing them and have an active role in implementing them also. In light of the great interest that the state attaches to empowering women and enhancing their role in various fields so that they can assume their rightful place in society and upholding the values of equality established by the Constitution, the positive steps taken by Egypt towards approving the principle of citizenship and women's rights increased with the issuance of the Egyptian Constitution of 2014, which included 21 articles that did justice to women. The issue of women's empowerment has witnessed an unprecedented boom locally and internationally over the past years in light of a conscious political will that believes in the importance of empowering women to achieve a comprehensive renaissance in society. For example, but not limited to, we find that the percentage of women in parliament has reached 28%, in addition to the percentage of women in management positions. The Supreme Council also achieved its target by reaching 32%, while the highest percentage for female ministers reached 24%. The representation of women in the judiciary has also witnessed significant development as the number of women in the judiciary increased from only 80 women in 2015 to 3,115 women in 2022, equivalent to 39 times the number in 2015. The year 2021 witnessed the appointment of female judges of the State Council for the first time, with an appointment of 98 female judges. The number of female judges increased in 2022 to reach 137, and a group of female judges joined the public prosecution for the same time. This clearly coincided with the translation of this approach into concrete steps represented by the enchantment of laws, legislation, strategies, and executive programs carried out by the government and non-governmental bodies, with the aim of seeking to create an appropriate space and climate for the combined efforts of all segments of society to reach the desired goal, which is to empower women, preserve their rights, and place them in a position that benefits the values, capabilities, and sacrifices throughout their history.
Welcome back. The Egyptian women have excelled in several jobs and positions and have been nominated to several jobs in Egypt and high-ranking positions and high posts in Egypt, and especially in the diplomatic field. To shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have this phono with Her Excellency Ambassador Souad Sharabi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good day to you, Your Excellency.
Good day to you.
Well, Your Excellency, Ambassador Sharabi, could you give us an idea about the women, Egyptian women in the field who pioneered and excelled in the field of diplomatic work?
Well, the Egyptian women have fulfilled the role of the Egyptian women in society, whether it is in the diplomatic field or in other fields. So, in fact, women have reached in the diplomatic field more than 30% of the members of the diplomatic corps. And there had been maybe more than 10 ambassadors, women ambassadors around the world. also in the ministry, there had been more women appointed as assistant ministers, in different fields, and this is a big improvement in the percentage of women in the diplomatic field. Also, there had been two ambassadors, former ambassadors, who had been appointed very high in a very high position in the society. One of them is Faiza Bunnaga, who had been Minister of Foreign Affairs and had been appointed as advisor to the President in the field of security. And also the Ambassador Mushira Khattab, who had been appointed head of the Human Rights
National Council for Human Rights.
Exactly, National Council for Human Rights. So as you see, that the Egyptian women are an icon of success in the diplomatic field and in other fields in the society, Egyptian society.
Yes. So what makes the Egyptian women in the field of diplomacy very successful? Is it because of the manners of the woman, or the nature of the woman in general, being a good listener? Give us an idea about this, please.
Well, it's because the women have excelled in education and in leadership, and they had been doing pioneer work in different fields, like for instance in the field of technology and science and other fields. There have been teachers and deans of faculties. So the empowerment of women, the role of the government to empower women since the revolution 1952 have given the women a greater role in the society, and have empowered women in education, in scientific research, even in hospitals. You can find more doctors, female doctors, and in the field of also the courts and the justice field. There has been many women who have been appointed, who have graduated from the Faculty of Law and have been appointed as governors, as judges, as prosecutors. So there are policymakers and change makers who have reached all corridors of power with no discrimination, and they have reached this with their resilience, with their determination, and they are inspiring the generations that are coming in the future.
Yes. Your Excellency, Ambassador Chalabi, what are your memories concerning the field of diplomacy as a woman and a mother at the same time? Also, what were the situation also for the rest of the ambassadors, women ambassadors, your colleagues, I mean? Give us an idea about the memories that you remember. What was the reaction of your family when you told them that you would like to work in the field of diplomacy? Yeah, let's remember with each other.
Okay, I was lucky because I got married to a colleague who understands exactly the career of diplomacy.
Yes.
That is why he has encouraged me to continue and to and has been supportive all through my career, whether we were together in the same embassy, like for instance in New York, we were together working for the same in the same Egyptian mission, and also in other. When I was posted as ambassador, he was ambassador in another country, so it it was not possible for us both to be in the same place. So that is why the husband has to understand the career of women and also to support her, even if she is going to be away or she's going to be in charge of the children and the family for some time in their family life.
Yes, yes.
So also I was lucky because when I was posted to Finland, the president was a woman. So and there were 13 other women ambassadors out of 55 ambassadors in Finland, in Helsinki. So we used to have a group of women ambassadors, which made life easier for all of us to know our problems and to share how we can solve our problems internationally.
Yes, yes. Also, we'd like to know how do you evaluate or see the role of women in the field of diplomacy in negotiating and reaching to deals? Give us an idea about this, please.
In reaching what? Excuse me?
Deals or memorandum of understandings and signing memorandum of understandings. I mean your evaluation of the women as a negotiator.
Okay. Of course, there is a group called Women Mediators Network, and these networks have been extending all over the world. So there is the African Women Mediators, which is called FemWise, and also the Women Mediators in the Mediterranean. It's called Mediterranean Women Mediators Network. And there is Nordic Women Mediators, and there's Asian Women Mediators. There's the Commonwealth Women Mediators. So it has been expanding all over the world, and in 2019 we have launched the Global Alliance of Women Mediators Network, and since then there had been a global call for women to be part of the negotiating teams and part of the mediation teams who are brokering peace around the world, peace initiatives and peace deals, peace processes. And there has been focus, and there has been a lot of training courses for women in order to become mediators, because there is the women are the ones who are actors for peace. They are the brokers for peace and not wars. As you know, there has been no women launching wars. It's only men, and so the role of women is to find a solution and the peace process in order to stop the wars around the world.
Yes. Yes. Your Excellency, Ambassador Chalabi, also there are a number of honoring for the women who are working in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, like providing an honor to the women working as ambassadors. We hear several honorings for the Egyptian women ambassadors who excelled in their position or posts in several countries. So give us an idea about this.
Yes, of course. It was, for instance, some of my colleagues were posted to very difficult areas during the Rwanda, for instance, massacre, and they continued with a lot of resilience until because there are lots of countries in Africa, for instance, who life is very difficult and who are expecting this disrupt of political stability. There are lots of countries who are whose life is difficult in Africa, but the women ambassadors who were posted to countries who have been in wars are very resilient and very patient, and they do a very good job. I remember when I was in Mozambique, I was posted in 1996, And Mozambique was coming out of 22 years of civil war, and it was a very difficult situation at that time because they were still following a peace process. But fortunately, I made my 4 years without any problems. On the contrary, they were looking up to Egypt for support and for because Egypt was a friendly country all the way from the start of the revolution, the struggle for national independence of Mozambique. Until now, they have very strong relations between Egypt and Mozambique, and the president have visited Mozambique last year, and also we received a lot of delegations from there. So the women who work in difficult situations proved to be very successful and very resilient, especially when they are younger. Like, for instance, when the crisis in Sudan erupted, there were two diplomats in our embassy in Sudan, and they have managed to escape after 2 weeks of continuous fighting, and it was like a street fight, and they were able to escape. So even the younger women have proved to be resilient and successful in their careers during the difficult times.
Yes. All our deep respect, of course, for our women Egyptian ambassadors all over the world. Also, the kind of honoring that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs provide to the women working as ambassadors, like, for example, naming a certain graduate or year for the name of a certain ambassador, like what happened last year, naming the certain year by the name of Her Excellency Ambassador Wafa Basim, former Assistant Foreign Minister. So give us an idea about this, please.
Yes, of course. I was in charge of the Diplomatic Institute, and every year there is a batch that graduates from the Diplomatic Institute, young diplomats who have joined the career. So each batch is named after a successful ambassador, and it has been this is a case during the past 20 years, and there has been a batch who is named after, for instance, Dr. Osama Al-Baz, or after Dr. Faiz Abu Naga, or after Ambassador Merbat Talawi.
Yes.
So there has been batches named after successful ambassadors like Wafa Basim, for instance, and Mr. Wafa Basim. We also have there's a batch who is called after her, who graduated last year.
Yes, yes. So Your Excellency Ambassador Chalabi, also give us your insight concerning the Egyptian women in general who pioneered in several positions. As you've just mentioned, being women became a judge, a minister. Also, Egyptian girls excelled in sports and swimming, in several fields.
Yes, of course, Egyptian women also made it to the top in the sports. For instance, in the squash, there is Noran Gohar, who was the #1 in the world in squash, and she's Egyptian, and she has excelled in this field, even though she is married and she has a family and everything. But she did a very good year last year. She was #1. There's also other women who excelled in, for instance, in swimming, swimming competitions. And there are editors-in-chief in national magazines. There are representatives in women ambassadors, members of the public prosecution for the judges, maybe 11 women as prosecutors, and this is a new field that's been added to their success stories.
Yes.
So also the business women, don't forget
course,
there
yes.
has been five Egyptian women who have been named by Forbes International that they are CEOs and business women who have done successfully in 2022, 2023.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information, Your Excellency Ambassador Suad Shalabi, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone.
أنا بنت من البنات وزي بنات كتير بشبهلك في العناد وفي الصبر الجميل بشبهلك في التحدي وحلم كبير يا بلدي يكفي